Welcome everybody. We're live again from the group Intuitive Minds Already Know. I am TT, your host, and here we are again. This is live number 4 for the week, folks. That's a record. We're breaking records over here at Intuitive Minds Already Know. I hope some of you tried to attempt to look at to do the, hello Christine, the forgiveness ceremony last night. It was my first online virtual, and I think next time I'm just gonna go live like I'm doing now from the Facebook group Intuitive Minds Already Know and not do it from the event, because I don't think there was very many participants, if at all any, in the event. But good thing that it posted, so it's shared, so you guys can do a replay. So I think there might be more involvement and more participation if I do it straight from the live from the Facebook group. So I apologize for that, but it is posted. It is posted. If you can't find it, let me know, because it is posted in the event, and I shared the event to the Intuitive Minds Facebook group. So you should be able to just go to the post or go to the event, go to the post, hit the event, and then there's a video with the event. So please reach out to me if you cannot find it. It was very moving for me. It had been a while since I had done one, and I had new stuff that I needed to forgive myself for. So it was pretty moving. And then the full moon was so beautiful last night. It actually was out, and it was big, and it was called the strawberry moon. And I'm working on practicing seeing auras lately. So last night I really focused on the moon, and this is kind of off topic here, but this is the way it goes, folks. So when you're trying to like see auras, you want to have like a contrasting background. So they say when you're first starting out to have someone sit or stand in front of like a white wall or like a huge white light colored piece of paper. And then you stare at it for so long, and then you kind of want to just like look away and then look at it, look away and then look at it, because your eyes are kind of like adjusting. And so I kept doing that, and I seen purple around the moon last night, and that was really cool. I've never noticed that before, so I must have like played with that the whole time. It was like we watched it rise up and up through the treetops, and it was really cool. So yeah, I don't know when the next forgiveness ceremony will be. I have to look at the calendar and find out when the full moon is, either like on Friday nights or Saturday nights. So yeah, stay tuned. Okay. I want to pull some cards. I'm going to do an opening card, and then we'll do a card for the collective, and then we'll recap from chapters 1 and 2, and then we'll talk about what chapter 3 is all about and the homework that I have listed for you, okay? Let's go. Let's get right into it tonight. We want to make this short and sweet tonight, right? It's Sunday. It's nice out. I hope you guys all got outside. Now remember, these videos are all on replay. And I go back in and I title them so that you guys, when you're searching, when you're in the Intuitive Minds Facebook group and you go to the search bar, you can search for the chapters. So if you're missing chapter 1, if you need to recap chapter 1, just go to Self-Love Workshop chapters, okay? So type in self-love chapter, whatever, and that's... And there's so much in this book. I mean, we might be doing this for a while here, but I think I promised you guys 8 to 10 weeks. But there is so much info in here. It's a great book. I didn't finish it the first time, and that was a couple years ago. So it's interesting to read the stuff that I wrote back then, because some stuff has changed and some stuff has not. So we're going to pull an opening card, folks. Ooh, I like that. Compassion is my compass. I am willing to hold space for the experience of others. That's interesting, because what I set my intent for tonight was to open my heart up to clarity and honesty and compassion and empathy, and to help you guys open your heart spaces up. So that's appropriate. Compassion is my compass. There you go. That will start out the week. So we'll do a closing card. So that's the opening card. And I'm going to pull a card before we start talking about self-love. I like this card because the messages are short and sweet. Or this deck, I'm sorry, the Messenger Oracle by Ravine Felon? I don't know. The cards are small. They're easy for me to shuffle. And the messages are short and sweet. And there's just enough detail in the pictures, in the images. And if you were watching last night, I have exciting news. I have finished the base, the foundation of my Oracle card deck. So the images are done and the script is done, and now I have to proofread it and write the bio in the beginning, and then talk to my publisher to find out how much this bad boy is going to cost me. So, but I plan on selling them. So I just have to try to find, you know, how much is affordable for everybody. What would I pay for this kind of deck? So, and I think it's kind of very unique because I chose an anime theme, and I have a young artist that helped me with the tops of the card. All right, so we shuffled, and I'm going to pull a card for the collective. Embrace Spirit. Number 8. Can you guys see that? Let's see if I can bring up my... There we go. Is that a little better? You can see the reflection in the phone. But it's really pretty. It's got like blue. Okay, something's not working because of the stupid phone. All right, what do I get? What do I get? Well, this eagle or hawk has some very bold colors. Hello, Grace Dockel. I miss you. Where have you been? You are one of my top viewers. Where have you been? This bird, this eagle or hawk, has very bold colors. And when I think of bold colors that are contrasting, I think of the yin and the yang, which is the black and the white, which is the good and the bad, the evil, you know, the evil and the peaceful. So, and this has been a message that has been coming in very strong, is to really find balance. Lately, there's a lot of weird, different, intense energies in the collective lately with this last shift in Aquarius. And just ask anybody how their emotions have been. You know, just ask anybody. I can tell you that my emotions have been clearly challenged and very much intense lately. So embrace spirit. Embrace spirit. Spirit is always there, whether you practice or not. And there's always time, and there's always room for surrendering. So don't forget that you don't have to be a major practicer or a Bible thumper. I know there's some people out there that hate that word, but there's some people that just push that book down people's throats. And there's other messages than just the Bible, because the Bible was written by man. It was interpreted by man. And not that I don't interpret, because I do interpret cards. But I mostly try to interpret like intuitively. So know that that spirit is there, the divine is there, your source is there, your source of faith is always there, and you just have to ask, and spirit will help you no matter what. That's spirit's unconditional love for us, because we are God's children. And do you love your children unconditionally? So does God. So let's read from the book, and then we'll get into you are a spiritual being living a physical life. Embrace spirit in your journey and reaffirm your connection with the divine. Fly to the heavens, but remember to look down and see that the divine exists in the magical natural world beneath you. Spirit dwells within all, in everything you see and know, in everything that you do not see and which is unknown. Both the creative and the destructive, the beautiful and the ugly are born of the divine. That's what I said. That's what I said. Yin and yang, good and bad. I love how when I interpret it and then the book confirms, bits and pieces of what I interpreted it. So that's cool. And I'm not super familiar with this deck, so I like that. I like that a lot. There was a quote or a message that came through the other day, and I'm trying to remember what it was like. Oh, look for signs. Look for the signs that you cannot see. Look for the signs that you cannot see. So those are the signs that we feel or that we hear. So look for the signs that you cannot see. I like that. So we'll pull maybe another card from this deck before the closing, if there's time. If you guys want to, just comment. All right. So your assignment last week was to read chapter 2. And I'm just going to recap as fast as I can. There's a lot that I want to reinforce and reiterate, and then there's some new stuff. So this is the book that we're using. It's on Amazon, the Self-Love Workbook. So what is self-love? That was, we talked about that in chapter 1, self-love. So I'm going to recap. So it's an individual process of continued principles and practices of self-discovery and growth. Let that sit a while. It is an individual process of continued principles and practices of self-discovery and growth. Why is it important? Why is it important? We cannot love others until we love ourselves. It's a cliche, but it's so true. We think of cliches that are just cliches. Why do you think they're cliches? Why do you think everybody hears them? Where do you think that cliche came from? Being able to depend and rely on yourself to make you happy instead of others. That is why it is important. We talked about the 7 segments or 7 steps that, trying to find what page that was on. That would be on page 15, the 7 segments. There was obstacles. We talked about obstacles, bad habits, anxiety, racing thoughts, familiar with what's convenient and comfortable. Fear is a roadblock. On page 14, it lists the 7 segments. And then chapter 2. Chapter 2 is self-awareness. So through self-awareness of recognizing our emotions and how they affect our body physically. Through judgment-free observation. Judgment-free observation. That's where self-awareness comes in. Taking inventory of all aspects of your life. Read page 33. So being able to recognize your emotions or how you are feeling in any given moment is a strength and a key part of self-awareness. A lot of people, this is going to scare you folks, but a lot of people, they don't know their emotions. They are not in touch with their emotions. And so they're not aware of how they feel. So when you start connecting an emotion with a physical feeling in your body and a physical feeling in your body based on an emotion, that's where the magic starts happening, because then you can, then you're self-aware, and then you can kind of start putting the pieces together and finding out. And then as you become more and more self-aware and you practice it more and more and more, it's almost like muscle memory, because you start to realize, when you're triggered, and you start to know where places and people and environments and certain things that might trigger you. And so if you can kind of, take simple steps, not to prevent the trigger, but know that if you are triggered, that you have some tools, instead of having a full-blown anxiety attack or a panic attack, or however your whatever triggers, like abandonment, to abandon or avoid or run, or fear. There was some homework to do on, let's see. Oh, so the homework on the homework was on page 20 and 21. It's a great exploration tool, but I have in my notes here that I want to read page 33. Okay, so before we do that, I'll just go into the homework for 20 and 21, because I actually had to do more of it. So the depths of emotions. For exploring self-awareness for each emotion, consider how you are before and after the emotion. Consider what triggers you to feel that emotion and what is the effect of that feeling. Triggers and effects can be thoughts, feelings, or behaviors, then can include other people as well. So I wrote down, when socializing with friends, I feel amused. I appreciate living in that moment. When I'm not connecting, I feel bored. I want to leave. When I'm meditating, I feel calm. I can turn my thoughts off, my racing thoughts off. When I'm in my creative flow, I feel excited. I make really cool shit. So on 20 and 21, and the back of 22 is that homework. Then it goes on to talk about the ability to understand feelings is an attribute of emotional intelligence. You were able to practice two aspects of understanding: the root and the effect. I like to call that shadow work. Feelings may affect your thoughts, and thoughts may affect your feelings. I believe it goes both ways. So then on page 22, it talks about mindfulness. Small adjustments have been shown to make a substantial impact. You don't have to go full bore and full blown into this self-love. Find simple, easy, small steps that improve your daily life just a little bit. And it might take a while. Maybe they won't improve every day, but you're going to see that as you practice them every day, that they will become, you'll start seeing, you'll start seeing results that better your life. When you are mindful, you are engaged and non-judgmentally observed in the present moment. That's why when you hear that, be in the moment, you can hear it, you can use that as a cliche, but it's so true. Just be in the moment. Focus on your breath. Be in that moment. That's what they try to teach for anxiety and panic attacks, is really try to be in that moment and focus on your breath. All right. So on page 23, it talks about breathing exercises and a body scan. When Would you guys like to do a little body scan right now? A little mindful meditation? We'll do it real quick. Okay. So find a comfortable place, or you can just sit here, sit in your chair or wherever, but we're going to do a mindful body scan meditation, okay? So we're just going to take a couple deep breaths. Find a comfortable seated position. Soften your gaze. Notice your body. Recognize your posture. Notice how your body connects to the seat, or if you're lying down, the couch, or the floor, or the bed. Now bring your awareness to your breath. Slowly inhale. Slowly exhale. Begin to elongate your exhales, making them longer than your inhales. Continue to breathe as you bring your awareness to your feet. Notice any tension that you may have in the bottoms of your feet, your ankles, or toes. Take a deep breath, and on a slow exhale, try to relax your feet. Continue to breathe as you bring your awareness to your knees. Notice any tension that you may have in your knees, shins, or calves. Take a deep inhale. And with your next exhale, try to release the tension in that area. As your awareness moves up the legs, notice any tension that you be holding in your thighs, pelvis, or glutes. Inhale. And release this tension as you exhale. Bring your attention up to your midsection, up to your chest. As you inhale, notice any tension in these areas and release with elongated exhale. Bring your attention to your shoulders now and to the tips of your fingers. Recognize the tension that may be in your arms as you inhale. Then as you exhale, release that tension. Finally, notice any tension from your neck to the crown, which is the top of your head. Take the longest inhale of this practice and release any tension from the crown of your head to the base of your feet with the longest exhale of this practice. Let it go through your whole body. On the next inhale, squeeze every inch of your body tight. Curl your toes, create fists, squeeze your glutes, tighten your face. Hold it. Hold it. And then on the exhale, release this tremendous tension, allowing your body to sink and relax. And do this 2 more times. Just tight everything up. Tight, tight, tight. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then as you exhale, release all the tension. I can definitely feel it in my shoulders when I do that. And 1 more time. Tense everything up. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And now on the exhale, release that. I'm not 100% sure of what this, meditation is called, but it's like a, where you like tense, you purposely tense up and then you relax because you can really feel the difference. You should be able to feel the difference. So on to, so 20 and 21. So page 20 and 21. How'd you guys like that meditation? Page 20 and 21 is a great exploration tool. You, without judgment, you can put your hard yeses and your hard nos, and your highs and your lows, and your goods and your bads. There's nobody judging you right here. Nobody at all. They move on into the book about self-knowledge. When we don't see things as they are, we see them as we are. Then cultural exploration. I'm not going to go into that. Highlighting your strengths. Heightening self-awareness and improving self-knowledge is ongoing within your self-love journey, regardless of your effort and intention along the path. It is normal to have blind spots. Our knowledge of ourselves and how others view us can be distorted and difficult to see. Self-distancing can allow you to step back and reflect on your blind spots. So blind spots. Blind spots are how people see us that we don't necessarily see, and that will improve with more and more of self-awareness. But sometimes, you know, and I don't know how you guys do this, if you do this already, but sometimes we need to kind of step back from ourselves and look at things with a different perspective. Or if you have a hard time doing that, then maybe you might have to ask your spouse if he can politely critique you, if you feel comfortable, or like a close friend or a close coworker or even a counselor, to kind of give you a different perspective of what strengths you have and what weaknesses you have. That is a blind spot, when we don't see things that other people see. And it's not a bad thing, it's just a fact that we all have them. There was a question in here: what provides you with the momentum to propel forward on your self-love path? And I wrote, the way I feel after I experience a positive thing as a result from implementing the tools that I have learned. That makes me feel really, really good about myself when I can honestly start implementing and applying what I've learned into the real world, and it works. Like, you hear me talk about power of positivity. It's so simple, it's free, and it's just a different mindset, really, but it really does work, and it really does help kind of get your brain in that cycle of changing negative thoughts and behaviors and thought patterns into positive. I want to talk a little bit about the differences. And so I'm going to murder this word, but they call it's a psychological tool or little homework that psychotherapists use. So it's called the Johari window. So you have four boxes. This is on page 31, and I had filled mine out. So the Johari window. So you have 4 boxes, and there's each one. So there's 4. The one is the arena, blind spot, facade, and unknown. So the arena is known to self and known to others. So who you are as yourself is what others see. So kind of like your true colors. Not known to self, but known to others is the blind spot. Not known to others and known to yourself is a facade. So it's kind of like, I don't want to use the word fake, but sometimes we put on face. We save face, you know, like, for instance, if you're in an interview and you don't know these people, your your facade by nature is going to be, you're going to be very respectable. You're going to want to impress, so you get this job. But that might be a little, you kind of over impress. So that's kind of a healthy facade. There are healthy facades, and then they're like toxic facades. And the unknown is unknown to others and also unknown to you. And that's where shadow work, really looking within, really starting to ask yourself those hard questions, helps. And that's where a coach or a mentor helps a lot. So the arena can be thought of as a public space. It's what we see and it's what others see. The facade, it's what you see and what they don't see. Is what you don't see and they do. So I recommend kind of doing some shadow work with page 31. Then there's some feedback. So how can you be open to feedback? And I wrote down, realize that you could learn something and put that advice to work in your daily life, and maybe areas that you struggle with and you want to see change in will improve enough that you notice results right away, and that those results might improve areas of your life you didn't even know you needed to improve. I like that a lot. That was about feedback. There's a self-awareness reflection. So where is 30? Did I read page 33? Because I have that in my notes. I did. That's what I wrote. That's what I just read about the feedback. So any questions so far? That was chapter 2. I strongly suggest that you write down, you do the homework on page 16. And you do the homework on page 20 and 21. And, 25 is a good one too. It's very easy. There shouldn't be a lot of, it's my strength. I am, I have, I love, my strengths, my pet peeves, and my aspirations. Finding the blind spots. Okay, so chapter 3 is self-exploration. It's continuous. It's not a one-time fix-all. And it's more shadow work, learning about yourself. Self-exploration is the courage to learn about yourself, to improve your knowledge of who you are. Self-knowledge begins in awareness and develops through the process of self-exploration. I want to emphasize that it's the courage to learn about yourself. We can say that we want to practice self-love, but you need to actually take the steps. You have to show the effort. You have to do the work. This is work. This lifestyle that I have agreed to be in, it's not for the faint of heart, because looking in, it forces us to look at our experiences and our regressions, our repressions, our guilt, our shame, our disappointment, our expectations, not met expectations. It really opens up a lot of cans, a lot of can of worms from your past, and how those experiences and belief patterns have conditioned you through your life. And, it's not easy, but it does benefit. I have healed some trauma from my past, from over 20 years ago, and I'm still in the healing process. It will be a healing process for me and for me and my husband as a couple, but it's possible. It's very, very possible. And I believe that everything that I learned and that I practiced up to this point where I was able to heal that 20-year trauma, everything I learned was on purpose to get to that point. Because if I would have did that 2 years ago when I started this journey, I probably would have caved, and I probably would have tapped out. So there's a lot more I want to go through here, but hang on, folks. I have to get my, hang on. I got to get my charger. There. You guys got a break. I assume some of you will be watching this on replay. Okay, perfect. All right, so self-exploration. I wrote down 4 pages of homework for you guys to do. As we get more into this book, it gets more and more intense with the homework and the questions that this book advises and encourages you to take the time to do it. There's a lot of looking in. This book is amazing. I mean, there's things in here that if you read the book and you do the homework and then you keep going with it and then you recap, it's a really good book, and I'm going to finish it this time. All right, so getting to know you on page 36. So 36 through 38. This is kind of fun because it's just getting to know you. It's just getting to know you, right? Getting to know you. So it's got questions: your favorite color, what do you like to do for fun, what is your proudest accomplishment? Do you ask yourself that question? What are my strengths? What am I ashamed of? If I wasn't afraid, I would. What does my inner critic tell me? What am I grateful for? So it's just a lot of like questions that you ask yourself within. And then there's the independent interview. Then there's on 40, it's my story. And then on 42 is very good. 42. What do I hope to learn in the future? What do I hope to experience in the future? What do I hope to happen in the future? And that's about reflecting. Considering how far you have come lays the foundation for you to think about the second half of your story, your personal mission, adding onto your hopes for your future. Take a moment to consider your purpose. Your mission statement allows you to thread together the past and future by connecting deeply to your identity. So on page 42 and 43, here are some prompts to assist you in exploring your personal purpose. Use the lines on the page to brainstorm and create your mission statement. What is your life's purpose? What is your calling? When do you feel most fulfilled? What contributes to your overall well-being? What do you want to accomplish? How do you want to live your life? What makes you happiest? What moments have felt the most purposeful? And how do you want to be remembered? These are all like questions that are great for asking within, because these are not typical questions that people really ask you. At least I've never had anybody ask me these deep questions before. So in chapter 2, you had an opportunity to begin to heighten your awareness of aspects of your culture and how they affect your self-love. Now you'll delve further into understanding the complexity of your culture. You can do that. I did it. And then 47 is exploring inner conflict. That is a good one. So happiness is when you think, what you say, and what you do are in harmony. In order to give yourself the love you deserve, you must first recognize when there is unalignment within you. This may take the form of discordant thoughts, feelings, beliefs, values, experiences, and behaviors. As two like magnets, these forces may repel and cause you unhappiness. You must then work toward reducing the tension. You have the power to foster internal congruence and to live a life in which your thoughts, feelings, beliefs, values, experiences, and behavior align. Mean what you say and say what you mean. Now, exploring inner conflict. It says take a moment to consider an inner conflict that you may have. Place the contrasting factors in the opposing boxes. Then after you do that, it asks you, where does this conflict arise from? How does this conflict affect me? How can I take charge to achieve congruence? And I wrote down that it's got a space for you to journal. In order to know how to love yourself, you must know yourself. Delving deep into your identity requires courage. It does. We talked about a lot about that before. You bravely explored your narrative in the past, present, and future. You were able to connect to who you are and the life you wish to live. And then on page 49, I highly recommend that you take some time and journal anything. Just start journaling. It doesn't really matter. Hello, Tammy. But journal what you have learned so far in chapters 1 and 2 and 3. So that's your homework, is read chapter 3, self-exploration. It gives you a lot of good questions to ask yourself to get you thinking, to get your mindset kind of out of the box style thinking. And you might not be able to answer all the questions now, but maybe put like a little stickum, come back later, because sometimes it's, you know, this is overwhelming if you really dive into it the way that the book is designed. Sometimes it can be overwhelming if you have never done this type of work before. So take your time. If you feel overwhelmed, maybe come back to it, you know, like an hour later or a day later, or a week later. But don't give up. Don't give up, because this book there's so much information in here. It's so detailed. And if you don't do it all, that's great, but get through as much as you can. And I'm right here with you, because I'm going to finish it this time. Even if we don't finish, if I don't finish all of it in the 8 to 10 weeks, I'll come back to the parts that I didn't and finish it on my own. And that's what I recommend for you guys. So, okay, so just wrapping up, chapter 2 was self-awareness. So if you haven't done that, do that first, and then move on to chapter 3, which is self-exploration, and homework is page 36, 42 to 43, and 47. Those are what I recommend you guys do. And I need to do more of the chapter 3, because I had started that, but I wanted to go back and see if my answers had changed. So next Sunday is self-care. Self-care, how we fill our cup. What do we do for us? I have massages, or get my hair, my nails done, or I try to find self-care, you know, daily. Like, just take some time every day for me, whether it's doing lives like this, or pulling cards, or just being in solitude. Stillness and solitude. It's gonna bake your noodle, because last night I was looking at the moon, and I wasn't listening to anything. I wasn't like smoking, because I quit again 6 months ago, and I wasn't drinking, and I wasn't talking. I was just sitting there by myself outside watching the moon come up. I have never done anything like that without music on, without my hands doing something. Why is my thing not charging? Hang on, folks. Okay. We gotta wrap this up, because I think sorry about that. All right, so the next, that's your homework, is to go through chapter 3. So we're gonna pull one more card before my phone dies. Keep this short and sweet. Oh, and I'm doing a promotion. So anytime I'm live and you watch the video either on replay or live, and I will say a word at this time, you need to comment either when you're watching it live or replay. And then your name will go into a drawing, and at the end of the month, I will be giving a discount for my Oracle card reading. Okay? So if you're watching this now or on replay, the word that you need to put in the comments is self-awareness. Okay? Self-awareness. That's the word. Oh wait, we did that already. We did do self-exploration. I'm sorry. Self-exploration is the word. Or how about, let's just do this. Let's do explore. The word that you need to write down, I'm sorry folks, is explore. Because that's the chapter that we're on, is 3. Explore, explore, that's the word. So put it in the comments. And your name will go into a drawing at the end of June for a discounted Oracle card reading. Here it is. Stay strong. Stay strong. Number is 43, which is 7. Oh, stay strong. Look at that. Look at that. Well, so the green, oh my gosh, this makes so much sense, you guys. There's a full moon, and green is the heart, the color of the heart chakra. So keep your heart strong. You need to, like, it's a muscle. And it's a physical muscle, and it's also like an emotional muscle. So by exercising it with this self-love, it's going to become healthier and healthier. And once you have like so much love for yourself in your heart, then you can accept people more easily and show them more love easier, and judge them less. 43. My phone dies. Life will present you with many trials. Life will bring you times of joy, but also times of suffering. Yin and yang. Like the weather, it will be unpredictable, harsh and cruel. But you can endure all that comes. Know when to resist and know when to let go. Know that sometimes you will lose, but that loss can make you stronger at the core. Stay strong. With hope and faith, you can endure all. The song that came to my mind when I was reading this is it The Gambler by Kenny Rogers. So go and listen to that too. Stay strong, folks, because the outcome is always the outcome will always benefit. The outcome will always be more than the pain that you went through. Yes? And the pain is on purpose, because the pain is going to push us out of the past, out of that shame, blame, out of that low vibrational negative, part of our being, into the more positive and higher vibrational. All right. Thank you all for tuning in. We will be discussing next Wednesday. I believe it's the last zodiac sign. Oh no, I think it's we are on Thursday. This coming week is Thursday, and it's Pisces. So Thursday at 7 o'clock is the last zodiac sign, Pisces. So tune in at 7 o'clock on Thursday, all right? And do your homework if you're following the Self-Love Workbook, okay? Have a great week, you guys. See you Thursday. Thanks for watching.